Your heart is a channel. It's a channel of pure divinity, pure divine love, grace, all those things that we have spoken of. And Kina Waria Paria Kadia. And it's here showing you that you can open more and more and more and more to the flow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jeneth Blackert.
And I'm Leonka Reyna.
And this is the How to Hustle Morning Show. Today we're talking with Suzanne Alexandria, and she is going to take us into the field of Archangel Michael, and then we're going to talk about the Akashic Records and have some readings.
Ooh, my favorite
I
topic.
know it is.
But first up, we've got a little bit of time for some mystic space weather news. For the space weather news, I always get this from NOAA, and it comes to us from spaceweather.com. And they state that this morning we should be expecting minor G-class 1 geomagnetic storms that are possible on March 20th, when the CME, which is a coronal mass ejection, might graze Earth's magnetic field. The bulk of the CME will miss our planet, and its flank could make contact, according to NASA's model. At this time of year, even a glancing blow can cause a geomagnetic storm thanks to the equinox. And then also, the reading for today comes to us from Sparks of the Divine on the good old Instagram. She says, and she has a picture here of the Schumann resonance with a big blacked out area. It says, "Can't sleep. There is a huge monumental shift we are going through right now." She says this in all caps, y'all. "Are you feeling it? Huge blast coming in to accelerate our shift even more. This eclipse portal feels like a whole new level of ascension. This energy is making it hard to sleep at night. For many, whatever you've been hiding from, not facing, or ignoring will be coming up for you right now so that you can break through all of your fears whenever and wherever you felt powerless. This is to allow you to purge your old ways while we shift into the new resonance where we will be experiencing more alignment. Whatever is showing up for you right now is speeding up the process of you shifting into a higher bandwidth. So that's promising, woo, and leave the old pathways behind of feeling powerless. So no more of that messiness, no more need for that. Let's release and let go and send it to the light. And that's what I got for Mystic Space with the News.
Gosh, you know what that makes me think of, you guys, is the bewitching hour, that 3 to 5.
That's right.
It's actually called ambrosia.
Okay.
And the hour that the veil is thinner, like they
Truth.
want you to wake up and work with them. It's like, no, I don't need to be awake to work with
So
you.
I will send them messages, and it's because sometimes we may not be giving them time of day. So I will sit there and say, okay, my office hours are from 9 a.m. to like 5:30 p.m. I promise I will designate a little bit of time for you. So, then that does help, because then I get mostly it's at night, like 10:30 at night when everything else has happened. But I do allocate that little bit of time for some channeling messages. Yeah. What was it called again? Ambrosia?
Ambrosia.
It's amazing.
I should do some research on that to see there's more information on it. But I that seems like it's been coming up a lot.
Yeah.
It's probably because that's what's actually in the energetic field of it all. Oops.
Yeah, and there are times, I mean, no matter if I make those those demands, and they do work with that, but there are times where I do wake up and I still feel really restless.
Yeah.
So it could be some of the, just charge particles in our atmosphere as well. But lots of messages coming through.
Yeah. So for the morning woo and the morning brew, I brought together my little money frog. We were on a conversation together, and we were talking about one of my best-selling courses is called Sexy Money. I've brought hundreds of people through it, not just like 100, but hundreds of people over the years, because once it released my body and went into the land in 2013, it just kept getting updated and it kept getting upgraded. So we've decided to do a live re-upgrade of Sexy Money, and that will happen in April. But while I was on the call yesterday, this little dude is called a Chinese money frog. according to legend, the money frog was the wife of one of the 8 immortals. She was being punished for stealing the peach from the heavens. Naturally greedy, she craved for money and whatever people see in the 3-legged frog. There is a bed of money surrounding it. If you see him, and I put this little dude, I found him on Amazon, but like he's just kind of like a money hog. And apparently it's supposed to bring you money. And I brought out this piece that my grandma, it's a gold coin that my grandma kept for years.
So cool.
It fits right here.
Oh, so cute.
And I hadn't really thought about this, but when I was really struggling in my business back in, my husband bought me one of these. And then oddly enough, weirder than anything, he always sat in the corner of my desk and then money started going really.
And
So-
whether or not you subscribe to that kind of stuff, like where, you know, the little folklore, I do believe that these type of things work because of,
Intention.
because
It's like-
where you put your intention, where money, you know, where your intention goes, money can flow, or
Right.
things can expand where you put that intention on.
Yeah.
And I always thought about that too for feng shui. And I noticed these little things, they're like these little coins with a square in the middle. I
Yeah.
have one of those at home that I
Oh yeah, well
Yep.
that is a Chinese
chi.
coin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a chi coin.
Yeah, and so I do believe that it helps us to remind us where to put good intentions and
Yeah.
good positive flow, and then remember that if we do that, you know, that is how we can bring more of that to us.
Sexy Money is releasing on
Yay.
April 22nd, which is also Earth Day. And we're just going to let him visit us during the show until then. If you are interested, I did find him and put him on our Amazon recommendation link.
She
which
put it
is
under
at-
workflow. Yeah,
it's under workflow because he sits on the desk.
desk.
But if you're looking for that link, you can find it in the Amazon, in our newsletter with the little Amazon little package, because I feel like it's time to start recommending some of the really fun things that I have in and around my life.
Sure.
So now, hello, and let's
bring up
Suzanne
Suzanne.
ready for you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Suzanne.
Thanks for the morning brew. Woo, I love it so much.
Yay.
So fun. It's just fun to kind of bring these things in our life, and I've been brought up by parents that are like, that's just superstition, and it's almost like against the Bible and everything. And now it's kind of like all these like energetic signs and things are bringing me back to what my parents used to say was like evil and superstitious. But when you really use them properly and you say money, you know, and you have this focus, I just think it's powerful
Yeah.
Mhm.
to have
And we are the
reminders around us.
creators. Like we're the creators of our creation. So if we want to believe that, then that works, right?
Right?
It all works. But yeah, I mean, it has
Totally.
to. I think it has to. It's like a law of the universe somehow.
It is. And quantum physics and science is actually proving all that, right? So all the stuff that we
Yeah.
ancient wisdom we knew is now being substantiated. So that's really exciting.
They're catching up.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, it's so good to see everyone.
We recently had Lisa Barnett on the show, and we cut into something that I have questions for you on.
Uh-oh, okay.
And I think I learned so much about the Akashic Records in that call that I was like, I'm more interested in this than I used to be.
Uh-huh.
It's almost like I would just buy.
She's catching up. I'm just kidding. In her
Okay.
own way, we all have our own
Yeah.
things that we were drawn to, and now it's all kind of colliding and
Yeah.
combining, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for most of the audience, you guys have heard that my channeling has come online. I started to channel this Archurian high priestess. And when we were on the call with her, I asked, like, how does that all work with the Akashic Records? And she's like, well, you probably were Archurian, that was in your record. And she had various prayers for opening the doors to these different galactic federations, which I had never heard. And I wondered, since you work with Archangel Michael and Mary Magdalene, do you have different prayers and different doors to open the gates to these,
Angelic
angels?
beings.
Yeah, divine
Well,
entities.
the beings are have always just been around me since I awoke. So it's not necessarily to the beings, but to the Akashic field, yes. Like there's when I teach it, I teach some of the standard protocols, but then 2 years ago, I channeled my own prayer to
Nice.
that I teach in my course to get into the like that's to get into someone's records and the group's records that we work.
Uh-huh.
And then now I'm working in the cosmic Akashic field, and I don't have a prayer for that. It just kind of has happened. And I work with a galactic group also, the Council on Harmonization. So yes, but there always have been prayers and even like very specific meditations and mudras and like I think through the ages it's been we've dedicated ourselves to like this mudra, for instance. We've dedicated ourselves this is just what's coming through to creating and using our body temples, to like when I do this, it creates an energetic frequency, kind of like where my hands are, where my heart is, where my head, mouth is.
Mm.
I'm just doing this randomly. I don't do it every day. And
Uh-huh.
like, but what I'm experiencing is happening is that we've done we've done that in other lifetimes and it's in us, in our DNA. And we don't necessarily have to, though I think it augments. And certainly if you're called, like I was just called to learn a new kind of meditation with the Merkaba recently because
Nice.
I'm just called to, and it's augmenting my frequency and my access and my strengthening my own Merkaba. But so I think, it depends. It depends on how you're wired. It depends on what you're here to do. And
Ah,
yeah, there are certain prayers. Like, in fact, lately, the Mother Mary, oh my God, I'm totally forget the Hail Mary, full of
uh-huh.
grace.
Uh-huh.
I can't even remember the name of it. I've been saying it. What's that called? Sorry, Mother Mary.
The
That's
rosary?
the
The
rosary.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that is an act that provides access to they provide access to very specific frequencies.
Oh,
And we
interesting.
have I think, we have co-created those over many lifetimes. It's like a collective thing that the way I see it, when we used to be in temples and some people still are in temples doing, praying mantras over and over and over and over. That creates a thing. It's like actually a thing that is a gateway or portal or
Portal.
access, energy, vibration, resonance,
S-
whatever you want to call it.
So what I hear you saying is, again, it's important to listen, or what I think I hear you saying, to listen to ourselves, because many
Mhm.
times in this, when you were replying, you said the words, I was guided. So that's very much so when and how we access some teachings and some
Yeah.
mantras or mudras that might be important for us and changing our activation. What makes you
Yeah.
guided? How do you know you're being guided?
Well, it's funny you say that. I'm really glad you brought that up, Leonka, because that's really how I teach. Like I'm here activating people to do what you do, like whatever it is you're here to do. So I don't teach a lot of specifics, but what I do is I'm a bridge to what people's Akashic records and fields, helping them open to that so that they, like you're saying, they can start downloading and being their own, channel. So it's it's very much, it's about just listening and following guidance, as silly as that sounds or not.
No.
Like today, I mean, I thought I had a topic for today, and then I texted Jenna this morning because I woke up and I'm like, my Archangel Michael's in the house. We're doing the high
Woo!
activation.
And there's
So,
something to be said about somebody that truly just walks and follows the energy throughout the moment.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. I think it's a very powerful way to live. And I think, and it takes trust, and it's a lot of, well, for something like this, it's easy for me to just trust that, frankly. It's more difficult in other areas of my life, I would say. But yeah, it makes it fun, because then I'm super excited, because I'm like, what happens with this scenario is that I follow, I'm saying yes, okay, because the guides know basically who's going to be showing up today. They are guiding it for you all, whoever's
Sure.
here. This is clearly for this group, and
So-
hallelujah. It's not, I
Yeah.
couldn't think of that. I couldn't dream that up. So
Yeah,
that's what I
So
love.
should we get into that then? Was it being called to do it early in the call? Because wowzers.
Yeah.
Maybe that will unleash something else through our bodies and our being and our heart.
Yeah, I think that we can have some conversation first, because the original topic was like, well, I thought I would be talking more about connecting with the mother, the divine mother, and
Uh-huh.
whatever you want to call her, Sophia, Gaia, all, the mother. And it's still that, but Archangel Michael wants to assist us with, the high heart is right here where I have this pendant.
Mhm.
And so Archangel Michael overlights the I am presence. And he's kind of our gateway to helping us tune into and almost like click in or lock in with our I am presence. And so he wants us to be much more in coherence with our spirit self in order to be in coherence with the mother. So it's still related to the mother. It's like getting that, it's still related to that, but it's because, in fact, what we're talking about, like we
Exactly.
we have energy centers that are instrumental for all of our connections. So it's still very much about the mother. And so I think even afterwards, we could talk about what that's bringing, because I don't know about you all, but I think this whole time is about the mother. And what is that even? I don't even think we really know yet.
That's a
Because
great question.
I think I might have some insight on that though.
yeah, okay.
Because so there's this guy, he does this work called CE5, and he goes like energetically to all these different planetary places. And he's like, Earth is Gaia, mother, and it speaks to Father Sky, who is the masculine energy.
Mhm.
And then he went through other planets and how they all have this, feminine and masculine dynamic. And that's how we operate better together and better as one.
Is Stephen Greer?
That's Stephen Greer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, because he comes from a very
I feel like I
background.
had to say that then. So I wonder if that's a contribution to what this is.
Yeah, I think there's something to that, because this new Merkaba meditation, it's interesting. The Merkaba is a multidimensional triangle or pyramid structure, multidimensional Star of David. And so the one triangle points down to the earth, and one triangle points up to the sky is how one way you can see it. And that's just in the flat two-dimensional
Yes.
version. And so in that Merkaba meditation, the male, like it's very clear. The masculine triangle is the one that points up, and the feminine one is the one that points down, grounding us into the earth. So I guess that kind of jives with that. It's like,
with
Do you
feminine
see-
masculine, right?
is connecting us with high, above, and as above, so below on the earth. So
Do you see them as spinning? And if so,
mhm.
like, and to me, I see them in opposite directions, but I didn't understand why. Maybe it's very torrid, the torrid.
The Torah
t-
field, yeah.
Yeah. Just interesting. How do you work with that when you say that you have the Merkaba new meditation? Like,
So you sit within it, and I suppose we'll probably do some version of that
I
today.
love it. I love it so much.
Dana
But
said on the chat, she said, we're moving from the divine masculine into the divine feminine.
Yes.
mhm.
We are aware of that, but it's becoming more and more obvious. I wonder if that's also a piece.
Yeah.
And that's what's very cool about having these live conversations, because we are moving through these pretty quickly. And as many on this can see, that the downloads come too when we have these unified conversations as well, individually, and then coming together and just speaking here even now.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah. I know.
Wow.
And yeah, I feel it too. There's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a feeling in your head. Space.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you all are intuitive too. So please share what you're getting, because like again, this is a co-creation, because it is brand new. And the guides have been saying that for a long time. We can't fathom what's coming. Like because it's not ever been here, and we can't even imagine. And they've been saying that to me for years, and I'm ready for that. Because, and I think we're starting to, in fact, I do want to highlight something that started to happen this weekend was really well, it's happening in my Magdalene program that we're going to talk about, where she brought in grace. And what, like, okay, so this goes to the feminine that we're bringing, that all of us, male or female or whoever you are bringing through us and attuning to. And we are all grace, and I'm starting to see grace as a humongous aspect of what the feminine is, maybe even like almost all of it, or it's like and again, grace is something that I have known about in my brain, and I'm learning that we are grace, and it's the pure divinity is grace. And just even knowing that we're purely divine, and we don't have to do anything. We don't have to do a mudra. We don't have to say a prayer. We just are divine. And that's part of, somehow, that's actually a big part of coming into coherence in the feminine, where the masculine, also can be construed as doing, like the doer.
Yep.
The feminine is the being and
Yeah.
receiving.
I didn't know
Great.
that. I guess I should have known that. So really, that is the energy of not going matter to matter. That's using energy to create. What is the divine feminine energy?
Yeah, and
That's what you're saying, or is
I
it
think allowing it
Just
to
being it.
be,
it's more
to be
allowance?
like, when we are in flow state,
Sure.
just
Okay.
being it, we're being divine, and we
It's-
didn't have to do anything to get there.
Yeah.
Right.
I think one of my favorite lines is always, and give yourself grace. But what
Yeah.
I think I hear you saying is be grace, be your natural
You
flow
are grace.
self. Right. Be
Or
yourself.
even that, you just are grace, because
Yes.
you are divine.
Acknowledge, maybe acknowledge
Yeah.
your,
Allow that that's your truth.
yes. Love
Even.
it. Love
Mhm.
it.
And that was really clear. And so it brought me to tears, you guys, with this. And when I started to channel it in the Magdalene class. And that's a master class on channeling with Mary Magdalene. It's about opening your channel. And she said, if all you ever channel is grace, that would be enough.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about trying to channel a galactic group or whatever.
Yeah.
Just be
Yeah.
yourself. If all you ever channel is grace. And I was just like pretty awestruck.
Yeah.
I've
I get
been
that.
pondering that.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
funny, on Thursday we interviewed Orna and Matthew Walters, who talked about love. And
Mhm.
in that conversation, Orna said one of the first indicators that got, I guess, kind of energetically got them together was she went to a tarot reader, and it was like almost in her cards that love was coming her way. So she just relaxed and she just started showing up at like outside of her house so that love could find her.
Right.
Right.
The inspired action.
I mean,
Yeah.
talk about like this true allowance for what is possible. Like when you really are aligned and you know it's showing up, you're just like, okay, universe, take me. Like what's next? You know, make, you know, forward, make me, you know, move me even.
Yeah. And I think even like with your frog there, Jenna, you know,
he's really cute.
You said like it's supposedly, you said something like that.
Like superstitious. Yeah.
Supposedly it does that, but what if you are just going to allow that that's the truth and see what happens, you know, and let it happen, because there's something to this, and I don't have the secret yet, but
I mean, we don't need an icon to do that, but by having the icon, then you put more.
You remember,
remind you to remember it,
and everything's about
be it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because it's easy to get out of it, to be in our head, and it's easy to monkey mind and, you know, run amok, if you will. And sometimes it's like, okay.
Yeah. And I think that there is something to that. Like you placing that frog there makes a statement to the universe too. It's not just you being passive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. It's you saying, I do want this. I'm ready. I'm allowing it. Because I've always had a saying from one of my dear friends that spirit meets us in the point of action.
Yes.
As much as we're saying we don't
I
have
love
to.
that. Yes. It seems others that are resonating with this, because Dana says, I keep hearing that. That's so exciting, to our words a couple seconds ago. And then Fiona says, my understanding is that divine includes both. We are both becoming divine, feminine, and masculine. If we were in the divine masculine, then I guess more than
and the divine feminine would
be there. That makes sense. There would not be one need for the transition.
Yeah. Because we have both.
We do have both, but
we are both, yes.
But sometimes we tend to operate from one or the other, or we might be subscribing to some of the collective that is doing, in my opinion, lots of doing and lots of masculine ways of operating. So again, I forget to remember who I am.
Yeah. And I think even just being intuitive, like it said that our intuitive left side, that's where we receive intuition, and that's our feminine side. So even just this forward trend of remembering we are all intuitive and using that part of ourselves too is helping us come into the balance. But yeah, absolutely, we're both. And
and Fiona does have a good point. She's like, what you just said about the masculine, the way that we're taking it in our head and we're saying it, it's actually the constructs of this reality. It is not necessarily masculine, that control. The masculine is more the inspired action that they almost just can't help but take, right? Or is that a divine feminine now? Right? Is the action part the masculine?
Some of the action may not be just inspired. Some of it could be programming too.
Well, yes.
So,
but
lower level programming
fall under divine masculine, and just falls under
masculine. That's what I was saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've had enough of this conversation. I think we got it.
Yeah, I think that the point is to be in oneness is what I'm getting right now. Like be in wholeness, to be our whole truth, whatever that is. And even labeling those things, we don't necessarily need it, but there is something very prominent about like coming into conscious contact with the goddess. I think that's to me, that's a big part of what's happening these days, and why a lot of us are doing the work we're doing, because she hasn't been as, you know, it's like she went away for a long time from that's what I see and believe. And so even just tuning in to her. And spirit does that with me. Like they'll say, it's just capital her. I don't even know. It's like the her part of source that we've forgotten thing. And so just a tuning back into oneness with all that is and all that is us is that I think that's what I'm here to help with today, to like talk about it and do this activation. I think that's what they wanted, my heart activation.
Well, let's go into it.
Okay. Okay, let's see. And also Joe, hi Joe. I love he's wearing Archangel Michael's color. So I've been
love it
all morning. I love Joe. We've known each other for a few years.
awesome.
Okay, so I just want to preface it saying we were talking about the Akashic Records, and with this work, you're going to be doing this for yourself with your team. I'm going to be guiding you, and I'm always really careful or just sure to say that because you're autonomous and sovereign, and there's a call to your higher soul self from your human self today to assist you in this transition. This is what I'm getting right now, in this transition into, with the high heart being more astutely attuned and open for your own like perceptions. And so again, it's like this area right here in the physical body. And so if you want this, then just say yes to your own higher self and your own team. And Archangel Michael and the archangels are overlighting all of this. So they're just always really, really, really consciously careful to say, this is you doing it. It's you. And it's almost like we just highlight that you can't even do it for your own self. So to thine own self be true. And also this is part of freedom too. And part of a lot of my work is about inner freedom and freedom of expression and thought and all of this. And when we are fully energetically exposed to ourselves, then we're free, is like the wording that I would say it in today. So it's so much about you having the capacity to be in attunement with all these other parts of you and being in cohesion with it, whether it's masculine and feminine, high self, human self, angelic self, inner child, all of that. There's something of a cohesiveness that can come from this today. So we'll take questions after, we'll talk about it after, but just enjoy this energetic realignment. And so if you'd go ahead and close your eyes and rub your hands together, just generate a little bit of energy in your palms of your hands by rubbing your hands together. And speaking of using our hands in mudras, place your right hand just for a moment on the top of your head, of your crown, and then the left hand on the high heart area. And your palm chakras and your heart resonance is going to start to become aligned and activated throughout your body system by doing this. And so I'm going to be doing light language also that speaks to your body, and that will assist your body in attune this frequency. So the invitation is to attune to the frequency of your high heart. It is a chakra system that's part of your whole chakra system itself, but it is its own unique feature of your intuition system. So with that, you can either leave your hands, use your own intuition. If you feel like your hands want to stay where they are, let that, or bring them into any mudra or resting on your lap, whatever feels best. And Archangel Michael is overlighting us, and thank you to all the archangels. We're going to bring in an invocation as above, so below. This is an attunement with your higher self as well. And so you're going to actually be downloading from your own Akashic Records field code right now. So ka ani ma adia ka awadia. So allow your feet to connect to the resonance of Mother Gaia on the earth and create. We are going to be spinning your Merkaba. So we spoke about the Merkaba as a multidimensional Star of David, where the triangle that points down is going to be spinning in a counterclockwise way, and the triangle that points up is going to start to spin clockwise. But right now, the energy is helping you ground into the earth to really embed your own source code more deeply with the heart, into the heart and the frequency and the grid work of Mother Gaia. And you might imagine the grid as this golden grid around the earth that's part of her system, and it's intimately part of her heart system, her heart chakra. So you also are that golden light. You are an angelic being, an angelic source being. And so your golden essence is clicking in or connecting in or locking in more firmly with Gaia at this time. And part of why we're being so explicit with this from the Archangel's perspective is because you came here to experience what it means to be so in attunement with your interdimensionality and on the earth. And the interdimensionality of your beingness is when Suzanne was saying, you're going to be so surprised at what's coming. It's actually, we would say, that's part of what is coming, is your awareness of your interdimensionality and how really like magnanimously diverse you are as a whole human species, frankly, but as a group, as a species that can see and taste and touch and feel in very vastly heightened ways. So your senses, it's so much about your senses opening up on the earth plane in this way. So with that, now allow your shoulders to soften, and especially the backs of your shoulders where your wings are. Allow your shoulders to soften as you breathe, and to even take deeper breaths into your belly. And as your own Merkaba is spinning, the bottom, again, the triangle pyramid force that goes down into the earth is going clockwise now. Allow that your high heart is going to open in a new way. And this frankly is new for everyone who's listening. It's part of your heart portal. So if you'll just allow and even imagine or see, it's not really a door, it's a field of energy that is part of the heart, that's in this part of the chest, at the breastbone. Simply allow yourself to become aware of it. And Archangel Michael, this is where he comes through, helping you bring light code for heart ascension technology. And so you're receiving a download with his assistance from your field, from your Akashic field. Kani Maniya Wariya Kariya, allow the high heart to open almost like a funnel to receive from above. As above, so below. Kani Amaniya Kawariya Kawariya Kawariya. And your soul is turning on all these points of light around your shoulders and your head and the back of your head, the front of your heart. Kina Maria Wariyawa. This is going to help you with your intuition as well. Open your senses. It's actually, think of it as like kind of an uncorking in a way of flow from your divine connection, your source connection through your body. Kina ma ariya tiama kia ariyawa. So there's a beautiful opening, and now you might feel or sense sort of a raining down of golden light codes around you. It's like a treasure box from your higher self has been opened, and all these light codes are coming through, around you, and through you. Kina Maria Kawaria Kia Maria. So you might start to feel the light codes activate through your body. Kina Waria Tia Matia. This is brand new. This is something that I have not brought forward yet. So it's very lovely to be experiencing this with you all today. Your heart is a channel. It's a channel of pure divinity, pure divine love, grace, all those things that we have spoken of. And Kina Waria Paria Kadia. And it's here showing you that you can open more and more and more and more to the flow, opening and expansion. And you can also think of it like you're a rose, a beautiful rose blossom that's opening in a new way today. Your heart is a channel. It's a channel of pure divinity, pure divine love, grace, all those things that we have spoken of. And Kina Waria Paria Kadia. And it's here showing you that you can open more and more and more and more to the flow, the divine flow that is your I am. So if you would just even start internally saying I am, or you can say it out loud if you're muted. I think everyone is muted. Simply start to say I am. I am. I am. I am. You notice there's nothing more you have to say, just I am. That is your pure God essence, goddess essence, however you want to experience it. And there's a truth of you that is so expansive and so already perfect. And that is grace. Can you know yourself as already perfect, already simply, purely, divinely perfect? Perfection is a difficult word sometimes, but in this case, might you allow that? Can you allow that you're perfect just because you are? I am. I am. I am. And Archangel Michael is saying, I am in reverence to this opening. It is said that Michael, and it is true, but Michael is at the right hand of God, if you will, of Source. And he is literally assisting us in becoming more aware of our pureness as Source, our purity as Source. And that's an aspect that's grace, our purity as Source. So imagine yourself as pure golden atoms. Every atom in you is vibrating at the frequency of gold. Source, divinity, light, love, grace. And this is an activation through your heart center, through your high heart. Your high heart is an access point to this now. It's not going to close. This is an opening that will remain. You've called this in for yourselves by showing up here today. And the trajectory for you all moving forward is that you will stay in a vibratory field that allows you to live more and more consciously as the state of grace, if that's what you choose. And so this is all connected to that conversation we were having about grace. And so if that is what you would like to choose for yourself between you and your own highest self and source, then simply say yes to that continued expansive reverberation, because you'll continue to open throughout this, well, really throughout this lifetime, but throughout this day as well. So that's the activation that they've brought through. And I'm sensing that most everyone is probably feeling this throughout your body, definitely anchored down through the legs and down through the systems. But I'd love to hear if you want to share what you're experiencing, because this is a co-creation, or if you have any questions about this. This is a really unique attunement from what I tend to do, and that it's not often that he's so clear, like, this is not going away. This is something that you've brought through.
Right.
And it's going to continue to help open. The simplest way is to think of yourself like a rose opening wider and wider.
Yeah, I got
Were you saying something?
all kinds of downloads, and I feel really dizzy and really
Do you?
yeah, and like just kind of like uncomfortable land, like something really changed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh yeah, and wow, so much. Do you want me
Do you
to
want to?
I would love to take some hands though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you take a breath.
I know, because I'm all over the
I know.
It's
place.
okay.
Let your feet, let your
Yeah.
energy go, like, seek
Right.
down into the earth some more.
There, okay, good. Venetia says, thank you, Suzanne. Very powerful. I was knocked out for a majority of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Caesar says, I can't thank you enough for that. Last time you had the guest speaker, it was so impactful. So this probably is in a little bit delay because it's coming from YouTube. And it's wow. Oh, okay. This speaker, the same speaker. So then last time that resonated so much. Yes, this is Suzanne Alexandria. And we thank you for being here, Caesar. And
Oh,
then
thank
the
you. Yeah.
collective and his perfection and grace, Joe says. For me, I did get the immediate download to start to send it back, start to send it into the ground and to I could feel my heart space, like just being in that field rather than just a straight opening. I also was just seeing all of these like particles flowing through and some, throughout. And then just that was like, okay, this is the field, this operates, you will be here kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like, and very much didn't feel like it was going to ever leave. Like, that's amazing. Thank you. Let's see.
Wait, can you say that again? This is the field, and now, is it like now you're in that field?
Yes,
Wow.
like
Mhm.
this is what I will experience from now
Yeah.
forever,
I know.
really. Like, and all
Like, they don't
time
usually
too.
talk like that. This is something.
It's different.
Guys, I think ever since that planetary alignment a couple of Fridays ago,
Uh-huh. Yes.
I don't even know what's going on, but it's like it is new and it is,
I am glad that you said that because the other
yeah.
day I got from Archangel Michael and from Metatron very, very clear. And I was just writing and writing and handwriting, y'all. So pull out your journals sometimes. The words that were the directive is changed. I don't know why and sometimes they use words that I can receive, right? So the directive is changed if there's things that had been even from a week ago, and this is from the day that we're talking about, even from a week ago, it has changed, and there's just a new opening of the
Yeah.
all in that way.
Mhm.
And I just was like, okay. And it was like, if you've asked, ask again for something, right? It was not that it ever falls on deaf ears, but it was like the way in which we are allowed to receive, not even the word allowed, has changed and shifted. It's something around
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling it is what I'm trying to say. And I'm hearing
Yeah.
it, but I feel like you've definitely helped us bring this through. Wow, thank you.
Let's see what some of the audience has to say. Lisa, you're up.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi. Hi, Suzanne. Okay, so it was interesting that Janet said she was dizzy because that's what I felt. Now, see, I'm in this chair with wheels on it, and I had my eyes closed. It's the same thing. So when you were talking about the Merkaba and the triangles, and I don't know which one you said, either the bottom one was turning and the bottom one was turning and the top
It's
one was
mostly
remaining
the bottom
stationary.
one I see. Yeah.
Well, I felt that. I felt like I was spinning and I had to open my eyes because I thought I might have been spinning in my
In
chair,
your
but I was
chair.
sitting still.
Wow. Yeah.
So I opened my eyes and looked at myself in the camera and I was
Yeah.
sitting still. So I closed my eyes
Wow.
again and I still felt like I was spinning. So now I think that something is still integrating.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else like profound message to say, but I definitely something shifted. I definitely felt a shift. And
Yeah, this is gonna for everyone. It's almost like a seed was planted. Think of it like that, because especially throughout today, the guides will keep working with your field. The archangels, like when the archangels come in and do this kind of thing too, it's a collective. This is so much part of the collective as well, just FYI. And so this is bigger than we know, but also but what we're doing is essentially like this is available now and we just took advantage of it is how I see it. It's like from that planetary realignment, what all the things that happened, now we can sequentially start tuning into new vibrations. That's what they're saying right now. And so that's why we're not going back. And there's such a sense of that too. Thank goodness.
Yay.
Funny,
Yeah.
for some reason today, whenever the word Archangel Michael comes up, I
Uh,
think of that movie with John Travolta as the angel.
oh my gosh.
It's
So
so
good.
interesting. I don't know what that is. It's just like, where did that
You
come
should all
from?
watch
I
it.
haven't
Yeah.
watched it from like the 90s.
Oh
So
my gosh, that's
so
right. I
funny.
forgot about that. Oh, I want to watch it.
I know, me too now.
I bet there's some stuff in there that would shock us from the
I
90s.
bet.
Right. Yeah, I should look that. I
Yeah.
didn't even it is that movie called The Angel?
Something
it's
angel.
called Michael.
Oh, it's
Oh
called
yeah,
Michael.
it's called Michael.
It's
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, funny. All right, well, so maybe we've got homework. All right,
Yeah.
Dana, you're up.
Hi,
Okay.
Dina.
Hi, Suzanne. For me, I'm still like out of breath and my palms are sweating, and I'm not a sweaty person. And so, since the 222 portal, I've been having lots of things happening, but I had a really big heart expansion like that morning, and I
Uh-huh.
woke up doing a symbol. And I know it has something to do with because I'm a transmuter of emotions
Uh-huh.
and energy, and it has something to do with that. But just now during yours, the symbol finished. It wasn't all the way finished, and it just completed. And it had
Wow.
I don't know what else, but my palms are sweating, and they've never sweat ever before.
Oh wow.
And then
Oh
I
wow.
feel my heart inside, it's jittering, and I feel out of breath. So
Wow.
I really felt codes coming in because of that heart expansion. It didn't expand today. I felt a bunch of codes coming in.
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing like for everyone. You're like the atoms are going like this in the
That's
heart.
exactly what's happening in my heart right now. It's like making me feel like I can't breathe that good.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you.
You're fine. It's
I
just
can't
the
wait to
atoms
see after
rearranging.
fingerprints what else is going to happen. So that's really cool.
Yeah. So do you want to share about the symbol?
Sure. Okay. So, what I know about it so far, I just woke up going like this, doing this. And I know it has something to do. Well, so I have to go back a tiny bit. I had a reading with a galactic elder through Aurora Luna Star,
Mhm.
and she told me I had a star heart. And I thought that was really interesting. And then they showed it to me. Like a few days later, I got to see it. And and that was in January. And then I had the 222 portal, I had the heart expansion. And then that symbol has to do with my star heart. It's kind of an infinity symbol. And then so what just completed today was the star part. I had the heart and the bottom part, but then it just came in where they showed it to me, and it went real fast. And so the star comes out of the heart and then goes up like this and into an infinity.
Wow.
But it's a way of transmuting energy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm just getting that you're weaving that into the collective. That
Yes.
really
I also transmute, well, something with animals, with the collective too, is transmuting the imprints left behind after they've passed.
Oh, wow.
So I think the symbol is having to do with that also, but it's all just slowly coming together. So it's super exciting. So that was really cool that I just got another piece to my puzzle.
Yes, there you go. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I want to say to Mikova, thank you, because Mikova said that they didn't know really much of what was going on, but they know that their presence is important, and that's really incredible. So thank you. I mean, because again, I know we all woke up calling this in or being called to it, and whatever is our role. So thank you for that. And also, Manisha said that she was knocked out most of the time. That often happens, and that's okay. It's just because you didn't need to be awake, and sometimes these are so powerful that you just kind of go out for a few minutes, because you're getting such an adjustment. So just trust it. You got it.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
if not, we will listen if you want.
Yeah. Then
Okay.
sometimes people will go back and listen to see what was spoken. But yeah.
So, I guess I want to open it up. If any of you guys want some, reading or advice from Suzanne, you can now raise your hands too. But Suzanne has offered this great opportunity for you to work with her. So I'm going to put the link in the chat. And Suzanne, do you want to kind of offer people a little insight of what it's like to work with you?
Well, you just got a taste of it.
Yeah.
It's like my work is, I mean, I do readings where if you're seeking guidance, we'll assist you from your guide's perspective and your Akashic records. I all of my work really happens in the Akashic field. I mean, we are all in the Akashic field, but the work that I do, like even when we're talking, we're changing energy, in your field during a session. And so they're very powerful energy resets or attunements, as well as, seeking, if you seek guidance from your team, from the perspective of your higher self, whatever it is. So you can come basically with just about anything to a reading. And I'm doing 30-minute readings for you all. So yeah, so I'd love to see you.
Fabulous. So that link will be in the email. It'll be in the caption in YouTube. And of course, it's also on the Zoom link here. So,
Yeah.
wow. I still feel like I'm kiltering, right? Like I'm still coming into an equilibrium.
Yeah.
We have a question from the chat. Caesar says, I asked him, okay. Caesar says, I wanted to ask Suzanne, I want to take my blue kyanite to a higher level. And I asked if she would be familiar with blue kyanite, or was that, it's KYANITE. And I believe he had asked a question before of you. So this is Caesar Gomez, and he's on the chat. So maybe just tuning in might be easier.
Is that like out on YouTube, or it's not in this chat, right?
It's not in this chat.
So the question is about the kyanite.
He wants to take that to a higher level. So it's something that must be embodying now.
Caesar, what I'm getting is to, like, that kyanite is really attuned to your resonance, and So Archangel Michael is so here to work with any of you. Ask him to reinforce what that blue kyanite is here for you, because that's actually just a very, it almost doesn't matter that it's blue kyanite. It's very specific to you, Caesar. So have the intention to allow it to come into vibratory resonance with, as actually, especially with your high heart, since that's what we're doing. And Archangel Michael will show you how to leverage it. For you, it's another tool for this activity of grace that we're talking about. Wow. Okay. So that's just very specific to you. That's why you were drawn to ask about it. I'm sure that's why you're thinking something is very special about it. It's true. It's like it's a tool for you to heighten your awareness, and Archangel Michael will and can show you. So sit with that intention. I think even you're going to be able to write what you channel about it. If you have a pen and paper, it'll help you write what even more to do with it, because there's something very specific about using that tool for your vibratory resonance, but essentially that's all for your channeling. So it's a tool for your channeling, if that makes sense. So that's a pretty cool tool for you.
Yeah. And we've got one more caller, Fiona, on the chat. Fiona, if you'll unmute.
Oh yeah, hi Fiona.
Hi. Hi, Susan. So I've been talking with people's higher selves all my life and working professionally with it for about 20 years, I guess now, which seems amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
On the 1st of February, I started to channel. I started to play with channeling, and now it's become a more regular feature of my life, I guess. But there's a part of me that sometimes doubts it. But last night I was practicing with some people, and I was like, I was meant to be channeling healing for her, and at some point I was like, oh, I'm just doing what I normally do. And then I heard a voice which was like, no, actually, when you're looking in people's bodies, you're channeling then. You're no longer talking to their higher self, you're channeling. And so my question is, my real question is, do you think this is the future of my work now that I'm bringing in more channeling?
Yeah. So what I keep hearing is that you're a trance channel. Do you know yourself to be a trance channel yet?
No, but that's the I'm hearing it. I guess there's resistance. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think you can let go, you can trust. Yeah, absolutely. It's what you're doing. You have been doing it, but if you'll let go even further, you'll just be able you're directly tapping source, you're channeling source to the person, and that the vibratory field you're channeling, like if you'll let yourself go into trance, I don't think you're going to be the kind of channel that, like that checks out completely. I think you'll stay aware, but allow yourself to full on be the trance channel you came here to be. That's what your intention needs to be, if you want to just do it freely and just let go, because it's here, and you have a very refined skill set that is very helpful for a lot of people. And it's like you do channel right through your heart to them. So it pierces where they need to be pierced, essentially, is what I'm seeing, like right through from your heart to those dark places that they need it. So please, it's like a humongous service. If you'll just let it be free, there's nothing to fear about it. It's literally being a direct channel of source to their conscious, to their what their subconscious needs their consciousness to know.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is that I'm already directly channeling source, as in the creator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that I'm down with that.
I
I
was,
just don't want any other dude showing up and coming through me and acting through my body.
yeah, creation. I also get the word channeling creation energy.
Creation. Yeah. Understood. Thank you.
Just let it. I mean, babe, just let it go.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you.
Because
I appreciate.
I mean, it's important for you to know it's going into the dark places in them where they've been withholding,
Yeah.
and it just like clears stuff out and it lights them up, like literally in their bodies.
Yeah, no, this young man came to me and he could only afford, well, he couldn't even afford one session, but I done a session with him and he
Uh-huh.
gave me a nice donation and it's cleared like his whole life he's had anxiety and boom, it was gone.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hello. Please don't hold back.
Yeah.
Right? We
Yeah.
need that in the world.
Yes. Which brings
Yeah.
me to a question, Suzanne. Do you work with a lot of healers in this way to really be open to sharing? And if you do, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, like my work now is activating healers, like
Ah,
intuitives. I am yeah, healers, intuitives, therapists who want
I
to,
asked I
yeah,
asked that selfishly because I knew the answer. I just wanted everyone else to
yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's what I love to do. It's like I've come into knowing I'm a bridge for what, like kind of what we did for the higher self to come in and and help you people, the human, get activated.
Mm.
And yes, for healers, primarily, very often for healers and in other intuitives.
Yeah, to help them
I
get
love
there.
doing it. I just came into it naturally and
Yeah.
it's super fun. Because I just love to see my people soar and, run with it, like what Fiona's doing. I mean, just go,
Yes.
like
Yes.
it's
Yes, that's exactly what gave me the idea too, because as Fiona is opening up, she is also sharing and changing lives. And I think that's such a beautiful way to permeate this
Mhm.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, it's your calling. I
Awesome.
mean, if you can help someone like that in one session, just,
Yeah. That's cool.
pretty much a huge blessing.
Very cool.
So
This
thank you.
is- Yes.
Thank you
Any
everyone who's here. 'Cause
Yes, that was some beautiful, beautiful comments. Caesar says, thank you so much with about 60 hearts here in green. And then Wanda says, oh my gosh, so beautiful, such amazing. Loved the active, I think she's calling it activation, but she loved it. And then there was Shara had said this was amazing. And she felt all tingly and numb, and her third eye is pulsing. So wonderful. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any parting words for us today or
Well,
thoughts?
can I quickly answer for
Yeah.
Dana? She
Yes.
wanted me to elaborate on her weaving. Yeah, Dana, you're a weaver of energy. And so when like you're transmuting, but you are one who weaves into the collective. Like as you chant your form of channeling, one of them, but one of the main forms is to bring code. And you're literally, when you're doing that with your hands, you're like an orchestra conductor
Oh, cool.
weaving into the so
We knew it.
so don't hold back either. Yeah, it's pretty fun. This is a really amazing group.
Yeah, this is a fun
We
group.
think so.
Mhm.
And I guess the other thing that comes up is I just want to remind you guys that when your gifts like this do come online and you're not sure if you're like channeling just the average Joe Schmo dude, or if you're channeling true divinity and source, all you need to do is ask a question and the information will come in.
Mhm.
So just want to remind people about that.
We have one more question from the chat. EMR JBG asks, hello, beautiful Suzanne. I have learned I have skills and abilities that are not yet online. Are you able to see if I'm resisting that or am I not ready for them to be online?
Okay.
And that might also,
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question because there is divine timing for everything. Okay, so Kina Mania Wadiaka. No, it's just your time now. You are just coming online now. So, in the spirit of what we were saying of allowing with grace, being grace, allow yourself, allow your, I feel it in the solar plexus, allow your higher self to take over. So, basically, so to speak, to kind of flourish open what's here for you next, if that makes sense. It's almost like channel it unto yourself so that you flourish open. So it's you're not blocking, you're not being held back. It's just it is your time. So allow that. But the way I see it is allowing it to download and then almost like push open in you, if that makes sense. Your solar plexus is getting a little adjustment right now from that. Thanks, Ben. I'm glad you asked.
Interesting. I just got dizzy all over again, like
Sorry, not sorry, Jenna.
I know.
I know
All
it's
right.
gonna be great.
Well, thank you, Suzanne. This has absolutely been
Oh,
phenomenal.
thank you both.
Yes.
It's so fun to be here with everyone. I love this group. It feels like this is like such an angelic, holy group. I love it.
it's so fun. And a couple more comments. Manisha says, thank you, Suzanne, Lianka, Janet, amazing call, powerful activation. I would read the next one, except for Jenna has has us pinned. It says, amazing call today from Dana. Thank you, Suzanne, Janet, and Lianka with the purple hearts as well. Always love reading those comments because it's just, it is a really beautiful, encompassing group. So thank y'all so much.
It really, really, really is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for bringing everyone together.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
All right,
beautiful.
I'm going to continue. We've just got a couple announcements, easy, simple ones today. One of the things, Mystique Society has gotten a new Facebook group. So I've sent you all invitations. If you did not get one and you are part of that group, will you please email me and let me know that you weren't able to get in the group? I know a lot of you are on the live call, so I thought I would mention that. Also, if you're interested in our Inner Circle Mystique Society, it is a really fun mastermind where we all get together and we talk about our woo and how to advance our gifts and really truly grow. But it's just a beautiful community, and they wanted to share on a Facebook group like all their license plates that have the triple numbers
that's
and
right.
everything and what they mean. Yeah.
Like the little 444 that I sport every day to remind me, and the little frog.
We also
It
have a
does matter.
new program out. It's called Chakra Harmonics. It's just $27 for a limited time. It's 7 hertz harmonics that really work on each of your 7 chakras. So if you're ready to just have some juicy, relaxing music, you might want to look for the chakra harmonics. And on that page, there's little tasters so that you can really see if the attunement is really resonating with your chakra.
Last night I put it on in the background for me and Roy, and I tell you, I did not wake up one time to go even to the bathroom. I could tell Roy was sleeping because he was feeling a little stuffy.
Yeah.
He slept so good too. I just kind of sneak it on there behind us so it clears us. But it was, oh my gosh.
It's a good idea.
It was, I woke up so refreshed today. I mean, I can't even tell you. And so anyway, I just let it play in the background. It was amazing.
Yeah, that's at the very bottom of the newsletter in
Yeah.
one of those little boxes.
Just
by
thought
the
I'd
way.
sneaky way I kind of get my husband on board. The other thing too is that we always give a portion of the proceeds to Rise and Up. Rise and Up is a nonprofit organization started by children. They refurbish laptops and give them out to laptops and devices and give them out to other students in need. So that's really, really exciting. And also to other organizations where it might be a women's homeless shelter for use in education, career, and wellness. And then also,
So we do this show live every Tuesday and Thursday.
thank you.
At the same time. And on Thursday, we are meeting with Beth Erbdobler.
Thank
believe.
you. You saw how I let her try
I've
it.
interviewed her once before, and she was a previous trial attorney, no kidding, and turned to her intuitive gifts to help her with trials. And then now she works as an intuitive, and she's
Fascinating.
quite phenomenal. I've interviewed her in the past, and I think you're going to love her on the
I
coming
love
this
that.
Thursday.
So much. I'm super fascinated by that because I feel like I always feel like I can solve anything. I'm just kidding.
Just tap into your
Yeah.
intuition and
Yes, yes. And the remote viewing, I always tell my family, look with your brain first.
yeah.
And didn't realize that that was something that I was turning on.
Mhm.
And then if you have any questions, always email us. And if you have any interest in Mystique Societe, email us
Good questions.
team@houthustle.com. That's team@houthustle.com.
Yeah. And that's a wrap.
Thank you guys. Love y'all.
On Thursday. Bye bye, everyone.